The difficulty in sending a plaque into space to describe life on Earth to aliens is that they have no way of knowing that it is a plaque that contains information. For all they know, it could be a piece of toast. What they and we need is a universal standard that lets them know what they are about to see is, in fact, information. That standard is SGML. This short videotape is about SGML. It contains 7 ideas and 7 explanations. It will attempt to convince you that this international standard will make your life more complicated for a short while, and then a lot easier for a long time. It will save you and many others much money. Also, SGML will make this the last time you have to worry about how your computers will talk to other computers.
Hello?
I want to save much money with SGML. Please connect me to your computer.
Which operating system are you using?
Well,
Which version?
I was thinking...
Yes, and which software are you using?
I don't...
Which version?
Good question.
Do you want line feeds or carriage returns?
Maybe
Both?
slow it down.
I see, yes. And would that be cash or charge?
Perhaps we could...
Now, will you be needing macros? Yes?
But...
Green screen or amber
I'm
screen?
overheating.
I see.
This is too complicated for me. I'll send over my human...
Stop.
Hi, how are you today?
Hello.
Gosh, you're looking good.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about this SGML?
Yes, SGML is a standard used for defining things.
I see.
Yeah. So any idea, any concept, any information, any data can be transmitted to anyone, anywhere, using the medium of SGML.
So you're telling me that SGML can send any kind of information,
Yes.
anywhere,
Yes.
to anyone, and they'll understand it.
Yes.
Okay. So, how does it work?
Well, I'll get to that. But first, let's start at the beginning. Let's start with this.
In order to communicate an idea, you must have a representation of the idea that the recipient can perceive. Historically, that representation was called markup. You literally marked up the page that the idea was on. This instructed the typesetter how to represent the idea. This typeface, that much space. That picture in this position. So the idea plus representation equals the information to be communicated. The standard generalized markup language allows us to create our own markup and build very flexible structures indicated by SGML tags that are not restricted by any of our current technologies.
Hi, I manage a technical publishing department.
I can see that.
Thank you.
And I suppose every group of writers sends you a different book documenting a different thingamabob.
That's their job.
In a different format.
Well, that's become my job. You see, if a division sends me a manuscript on paper, well, then I have to type it into my own computer.
Yes.
If they send me a computer disk, well, then chances are it's a different computer. Or a different operating system.
Yes.
Or a different software.
Yes.
Or an old version of the new software. Or a new version of the same software, or perhaps even a software from another planet.
Well, S, G, M, L solves all that.
How?
Well, I'll get to that.
Another one of these with the finger?
It is SGML's support for the past, all the ways we have been storing data, and the future, being a language for extending structures for data and creating new ones, that makes SGML so reliable and so encompassing, a true standard. And the most important thing about a true standard is just that. You can rely on it. And because SGML is not computer dependent, everything about SGML works, even if information is being passed around on paper, hand to hand.
I see you're in the submarine business.
Well, actually, I like to refer to it as the buoyancy business. Yeah. It's a good business to be in. But you want to know something? Paper can be a problem, even in that business. Too much of it. Enough to sink ships.
You know, these are modern times we live in.
Yes?
Why don't you put all your information onto computers?
Well, I do, you see, but I also use paper as well, and it's just too expensive to make an electronic version of one and then print out another.
Ah, but you see, believe it or not, you could have made both those versions from the same electronic file at no extra cost.
Because SGML is generalized, you can use it to describe any structured thing or event. A musical performance, a dance, your bank transactions, a dictionary, or these best-selling books which were created from the same SGML file.
Hi there. I'm in the publishing business.
I can see that.
We have an author who, every time he wants to make a point, feels he has to underline everything.
And you probably have another author
Who wants to design every single page of her book for us before we know what kind of typeface to use or even what size paper to use.
Yes, and don't you also publish electronic reference manuals?
Well, yes. Well, we have their computers call our computers.
Make
and,
appointments for lunch?
No, and ask questions. I think what we need is a way of storing information so that when we print the book, it actually looks like a book.
Looks like.
And when we put it in the computer and bring it back on the screen, it looks okay there, too.
Well, what's the big deal? Use SGML.
Markup that shows our intentions without locking us into one representation of an idea is a good thing. That markup can be called a language.
Hey.
Yeah,
Ooh, you're trying to tell us something.
it's a message.
The plain fact is, we have no idea what we're going to do next with our information.
There it is again.
What are those?
Because
what are those?
SGML is a language, it is a standard so rich it allows us to actually plan for things we can't even imagine today.
This definitely still looks like toast.
No, I think it's SGML.
Something to put on toast? Ooh, yum yum.
They still look like aliens to me.
Hi, I'm in the car business.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. Hey, this is our new model. Take a little closer look here. I want to show you some of the special features on this beauty.
Yes.
We got the winch, okay, on the hood.
Yes.
In case you get stuck, tow yourself. You know, it's a great item. No windshield. You want to feel the bugs, you know?
Yes, but it seems to me you have a few problems with some of your suppliers because the reflectors are on the door and the engine is up here on the buttress.
That comes in handy sometimes. But I will say that what happens is the parts are perfectly designed, okay? The engineers send us specifications to our, what's the C word, the computer.
The computer. Mhm. But obviously you need some way of checking to see that all the pieces fit correctly.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, you got a point. I mean, I think what we need is something pretty simple, you know, something that, you know, I can tell our computers, you know, whether the specs are maybe in inches or centimeters.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I guess that, and what the part is and how it goes together, I guess.
Probably what you need is something more like this.
Look at that. That's beautiful. What? That's all perfect and
That's
everything.
SGML.
Because SGML is a language that is readable by computer,
Oh gosh, I better get back to work on that manual.
we can take advantage of the machine's tremendous speeds
I need to put a piece of artwork in here.
to check whether electronic information actually meets the standard.
That looks good. Now I need a paragraph full of repetitive filler describing this man with all the strings attached.
This allows us to build software that ensures that files and database records are correct.
I have the uneasy feeling I've forgotten something. I'll just use the SGML parser to check this document. Oh my goodness, of course. I left out the caption for the figure. Well, that's easily remedied. Now, what number figure are we up to? Oh, yes. Okay, back to work on this paragraph.
Okay, they've got SGML and I've got SGML. How does it work?
Well, I'll get to that. But take a look at this.
With a flick of your finger, you can reformat your material any way you like. Plain text, not so plain text, lists, even tables. And SGML is context sensitive, so when you generate paper publications, print-on-demand subset documents, or screens full of interactive material, you know that the markup in your database will still make sense in new contexts.
How's that?
Oh, that's great. I love it. I really do. But what I really want to know is, how does it work?
Well, I'll get to that. But first,
SGML's markup language can be used on any medium, and it can be transmitted from any medium to any other medium. Handwritten, typewritten, laser printed, audio, video, slides, computer, and CD-ROM. There are over 100 major corporations, organizations, and government bodies who support SGML, who are selling or buying SGML systems, or who are using SGML right now. And more are appearing every day, deciding in favor of a consistent, absolutely reliable system that will transmit any kind of information, anywhere, through any medium known to man or woman.
SGML is like a phone and an envelope.
A phone and an envelope. You're kidding.
Falamos português.
Oh, parlez-vous français?
Ohio Gazma.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Do you speak SGML?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's a start. You see, SGML works because people and governments have agreed to use the same language, which both humans and any computer can understand.
Oh, and so that language is SGML.
Oh, yes. You see, it's also like an envelope. Because if we had sent this plaque to the aliens,
Yes?
they would have known it was a message
Oh.
and wouldn't have tried to eat it.
Well, it looks edible to me. So if the sender and the receiver both agree to use SGML, then,
Yes. Well, SGML is a standard way of saying what follows next is a picture, a photo, a message, graphs, tables.
Oh, I see. So if all computers agree to use SGML, then they can communicate.
Yes, and better still, in most cases, only one computer need know what SGML is. But that, of course, is another video, and this one's over, so stop.
Uh-oh, here it comes again.
This time we know what it is.
It's a message.
It used to be toast.
But now we understand. SGML.
Because we just watched the same video as you.
I think the man in the red suit is from our planet.
From now on, let's communicate with Earth.
Using SGML.
Okay, I'm in the flying saucer business.
Do you think it's available on home video rental?
And I need SGML.
Where are the credits?
Stop.
SGML. A real public domain. Nationally endorsed, internationally approved. Vendor independent standard. Supported by real vendors shipping conforming products that work today. Produced by the Graphic Communications Association and the SGML Users Group in association with SoftQuad Incorporated.
Okay, here we go. The most important word in SGML is standard.
By having a standard, we now open up the entire market.
My favorite word is standardized.
Well, the obvious short-term reason SGML matters now is the government's actions.
The most important word in SGML is general. SGML gives you a general way of describing an unlimited class of documents.
SGML is a language that I'll be able to run to get with a hypertext system, with a composition system, for preparing text for CD-ROM. One language to do all of those text applications.
SGML is not a trip to Hawaii. Well,
I like the fact that you can trust SGML. Trade publishers, corporate publishers, government departments, and technical documentation groups are using it today to produce real books, real full-text databases, real hypertexts.
The most important word in SGML is language, because SGML is the language that allows you to communicate the ideas of the document.
There's a long and thorough process that creates a real standard. Experts from the International Standards Organization member countries create a standard, improve it, and then improve it again.
The most important word in SGML is markup.
Well, generalized is obvious because that to me means generic, which means that I'm not dependent on any one vendor.
The most important thing about SGML is consistency.
SGML means never having to say you're sorry.